Good evening, everyone. Today I will be discussing data encryption and key management, a crucial part of cybersecurity. Now, we all use passwords, right? And that is to keep our data safe. Now, imagine if someone got access to those passwords, suddenly everything is exposed, right? That is exactly what happens when encryption keys are not managed properly. Encryption is used to protect our data, to protect sensitive data, making it unreadable to unauthorized users. But the real question is, how do we protect the keys that unlock encrypted data? This is where key management comes in. Encryption key management involves storing, handling, and securing these keys so that attackers cannot misuse them. Without proper key management, encryption is useless. It's like locking your house but leaving the key under the doormat. Let's explore the things that we are going to discuss in this presentation. So we'll start with why key management is critical. Post that, we'll discuss a scenario where data breach happened due to poor key management. And coincidingly, we'll discuss a real world breach example. Post that, we'll discuss the best practices for securing key management. And lastly, we'll discuss the solutions and recommendations, followed by conclusion. So let's move to why key management is critical. Encryption keys are like digital passwords for sensitive data. If they are stolen or lost, encrypted data becomes accessible. Some major risks of poor key management include unauthorized access, that means attackers can decrypt sensitive data, regulatory violations, laws like GDPR, HIPAA, and PCI DSS require strong key management. Financial and reputational damage. Data breaches can lead to lawsuits, fines, and loss of customer trust. One of the biggest mistakes is like, for example, in 2017, Equifax, a major credit reporting agency, suffered a data breach exposing 147 million records. Weak encryption key management, which allowed hackers to access protected data. Now let's look at a hypothetical real world scenario to understand how poor key management can lead to a breach. Imagine a financial company that encrypts customer data but stores the encryption key in a plain text file on their internal server. Here's what happens: a hacker gains access to the company's network through phishing. They search for key files and find the encryption key stored in an unprotected location. Using the key, they decrypt all sensitive data, exposing thousands of customer records. The consequences are severe. Customer data is stolen and sold on the dark web. The companies fined millions for violating privacy laws. Lose trust, leading to long term reputational damage. Does this sound too far fetched? It's not. It has happened in major security breaches like the Capital One attack in 2019. In 2019, Capital One suffered one of the biggest financial data breaches. Here's what happened: a hacker exploited a misconfigured cloud storage system, gaining access to encryption keys. This led to the exposure of over 100 million customer records, including social security numbers and bank details. What went wrong? Encryption keys were stored in an insecure cloud environment. There were weak access controls, making it easier for attackers to steal keys. What's the key takeaway? The key takeaway is even if the data is encrypted, poor key management can make it vulnerable. Let's now look at the common mistakes companies make in key management. Many organizations make the same mistakes repeatedly, such as storing keys, encryption keys in plain text files, which hackers can easily find and steal. Embedding keys in application code that attackers reverse engineer software to extract them. Weak access controls. There were too many employees that have access to encryption keys. And finally, not rotating the encryption keys, using the same key again and again for too long that increases security risks. And how attackers exploit these poor key management. Cybercriminals have many ways to steal encryption keys. First can be phishing attacks, tricking employees into revealing key storage locations. Malware, searching for unprotected key files on compromised systems. Insider threats, employees with access to keys misusing them. To prevent these risks, organizations must follow best practices for key management. Organizations can protect encryption keys using strong security measures such as using hardware security modules (HSMs) or cloud key management services (KMS). These secure environments store and protect encryption keys, rotating encryption keys regularly by preventing long-term exposure of compromised keys. Enforcing strict access controls. That means only authorized personnel should have access to these keys, and those authorized personnel should be just enough, not too many. Next can be the monitoring and auditing key usage that identifies suspicious activities early. And finally, avoiding plain text storage of keys. Encryption keys should never be stored in easily accessible locations. Now let's explore some solutions that help businesses manage encryption keys securely. There are three major types of key management solutions. First is cloud-based solutions. Examples are AWS Key Management Services, Azure Key Vault, Google Cloud KMS, which are suitable for businesses using cloud services. On-premises solutions, examples include Thales Cyphertrust, IBM Guardium, that provides direct control over encryption keys for high security environments. Lastly, hybrid solutions that combines cloud and on-premises solutions for flexibility. These hybrid solutions are useful for organizations needing both security and scalability. Choosing the right solution depends on the business security needs and infrastructure. Let's now move to the key takeaways. Let's quickly summarize what we have learned. Encryption is only as strong as its key management. Without secure key storage, encryption is ineffective. Poor key management leads to devastating data breaches. We saw this in the Capital One and Equifax breaches. Best practices and secure key management solutions are essential. Business must implement strong policies and use advanced tools. Final thought. In today's digital world, data security is non optional. Protecting encryption keys means protecting data, customers, and business reputation. Thank you for your time. I hope you have a good night.